over the past few weeks, a number of people have actually reached out to me about basically the same topic. So with the summer concert series upon us, let me give you some helpful advice on how to deal with things when you meet one of your musical heroes. I've been exceptionally fortunate in my lifetime, and I've gotten to spend some quality time with a majority of my all-time favorite musicians that are still alive. And having spent some very extensive time with a few of them, let me give you a few tips. First off, remember that musicians, no matter how famous, are people just like you. Yeah, they might get asked for autographs more often than you do, but at the end of the day, if they're being a jerk, walk away from them. It's not worth it. I personally have zero patience for musicians who are so high on themselves that they think they're somehow above the people who fund their very lifestyle. Trey Anastasio. But with that, consider when you're approaching them. That is to say, if you're watching from the side of the stage or you have an all-access pass or an after-show pass, let them have 10, 15, 20 minutes after the show to relax, maybe take a shower so that they can be ready to deal with their fans. A lot of bands and musicians will actually set rules backstage. They might say no autographs, no photos, no this, no that. Pay attention and respect it. It's going to put them in a better mood. And for me, I'd always rather have a few minutes of genuine conversation with someone so that I can ask them the questions I've always wanted to, than their name on a piece of paper or a ticket or some photo. I'll take the experience any day of the week over the memento. But that leads us to something else. If it's a meet or greet or something that you can plan for, do that. Plan. Take some time and think, if I can only ask them one question or say one thing to them, what's it gonna be? Because there's a very good chance that's all you'll have time for. Speaking of planning, here's a pro tip for those of you who do get after show and all access passes and stuff like that. Anything like these where it's got a sticky back to it and they want it pasted on you in some way or another when you're backstage, there's a little trick that's gonna make you very happy in the end. When you get it, only peel off half of it and then stick it to yourself, and take the other half that you peeled off and put it in your pocket. Try not to fold it. So then when you're done backstage, you can take it off, you put that paper back onto the back of it, then you don't have anything sticking to you, and when you go to mount it, you have a much better backing, there'll be no creases. Trust me, having done this a ton of times, this is the way to do it if you want to have a memento after the fact. Also know that it's perfectly normal to be nervous, especially if it's a band that changed your life or saved your life or anything like that. On so many occasions, I've told the singer or the writer directly that their song got me through a really tough time in my life. Sometimes I'll tell them the specific line or what was actually going on. A lot of the time, the musicians love to hear this because it reminds them that what they do makes an impact. If you're in that situation where it's someone's music who's really touched your life, the number one thing you should do is tell them. It's great for them, and trust me, it's going to be great for you as well. But here's another warning, and it's a warning over the meet and greet because they tend to be the most impersonal thing possible. They're usually sponsored by some company, and it's just the musician or the band standing in front of a backdrop, and people just step into frame for a quick snapshot. There's no time to even ask them anything, and a lot of the time it can really leave you bummed out. Oh, and another pro tip, don't be overly intoxicated. Nobody likes super wasted person backstage. He's the most annoying creature on the planet. I mean, you're meeting your musical heroes. This is something you want to remember, right? So lay off the beer and the weed. But that leads us to the number one thing you have to remember. Sometimes your musical heroes are going to let you down. Some of them are going to be complete jerks. Some of them just aren't going to live up to your standards. Remember that they're your standards and not them. And they're going to kind of turn you off to your music and make you wonder if you really loved it in the first place. Not mentioning any names, ludicrous, but some performers are just inconsiderate and total jerks. When you have that sort of an interaction, you're gonna realize that they're just human really fast. Not only are they normal people, but they're the type of people you absolutely would not want to hang out with. Just know that sometimes this happens, but also know that sometimes you just catch the person on the wrong day. Just be yourself, try and be in the moment, and have as much fun as you can, but remember the number one rule of meeting your favorite performer. If you don't ask, you don't get. The worst thing that happens is someone says no, so if you've got some crazy idea, you have some random thing you want signed, whatever it is, it can't hurt to ask. You never know, they might say yes. As long as it's not offensive or illegal, I say go for it. So good luck and enjoy.